My mic's all the way down. And audio gotta come out of there and out of here.
I have a quarter inch with me if you want me to plug into anything. I mean, I don't know if
this room is kind of like Can you go check on the audio for me? Pretty please. My phone, I'm gonna give it to you. Because we're streaming live now. Can you put some
I'm so excited. This is really, really cool. Now his name escapes me, but was telling me about this before you had asked me to come on, and I was like, that is pretty cool. And so I checked out the previous episode. I'm like, okay, got it.
Yeah, I had one of my friends.
That's really deep.
Like most of my friends are real hard.
I feel like if you just retain that sort of free spirit, that regular think out of the box kind of just like, you just sort of have that vibe, you can literally shape shift and formulate and adapt to like whatever you're surrounded by. You can't be like molded, you can't be like, made to just be one thing or do one thing, or because we're creative beings. So people that we know and engage with or whatever, that other folks will think are like weird or whatever, those are the people that I want to.
They're the most kind and genuine.
I live for the shade.
He's like, ratchet is nice. We go like ratchet. We don't get down like that. It's just not. It's just not. Okay, cool. Well,
Ratchet is just not that one.
it's just not in me. It's all right. I'd rather not be ratchet than to be ratchet.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like my kids, like, nah, baby, mama. We gonna,
Can I
alright.
be?
Alright, so let me get rid of this. And we are, we are live from Mother's Kitchen. Yeah. And I have my friend with me. Let me turn this music down here. Greg, I have my friend Greg with me, Greg Bond, in Mother's Kitchen to co-host this episode or be featured on this episode. You're my co-host tonight.
Okay.
That's really what it is. I'd be by myself just. But he brought his friend with him. Does your guitar have a name?
I'm glad you asked that because it does have a name.
Okay.
This is Washburn So Good the Third.
What? Washburn So Good the Third. Y'all got to give it up for Washburn. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got to go ahead. Asking if we would like some of these nan. I got you these too.
Oh,
I didn't know if you were a soft or crunchy guy. So
I could be soft and I could get crunchy too.
Same, you know.
Um, I'm perfectly good with that. But if you want some soft,
Oh, I'm good. I'm good with what's here.
yeah, I'm
So,
totally good. I appreciate.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much.
Josh Fresh. Give it up for Josh Fresh. He was a
Wonderful.
great production assistant.
What a lovely fellow.
He's amazing. Honestly, he is. So tonight is 10/10/2022.
It is National Indigenous Peoples Day.
It is because the kids had school out today, and I gave thanks multiple times for the day, right? I feel like we should have a moment of silence for today. Honestly, we always get this time, and because of society, we always go, and a lot of times we party during these times because we get out of the simulation. We get to take a day off for the people who work for companies, for the most part, corporations.
And yeah, so it's like we know that if I guess formerly Columbus Day, the kids get a day off from school.
Right.
There might be certain businesses that observe that won't be open. And,
Right.
And that's kind of like what we know about that, regardless as if we, have researched about Christopher Columbus or not. But
Right.
within the last maybe 20 or 30 years, as native tribes all over the US and Canada have been fighting for this recognition of Indigenous peoples, that not just for the day but in general throughout our curriculum in schools and stuff like that. It's been hard fought.
It has.
And so I'm really stoked for the progression as far as that goes. Kind of, now we're observing this, and I'm not sure if I'm not sure if it's been changed per se, but I guess as far as I'm concerned, I mean, now that it's being recognized, I don't think it's as. I mean, I think some people may like recognize Christopher Columbus's Day, but I think it's great that this is coming more into light in the forefront than other
I
stuff.
do too. I do too, 100%. it's yeah, I wanna take that moment of silence, man. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I give thanks for all of those who went through the trials and the struggles before I came, right?
Hmm.
Um, Especially the ones that did not see a positive end at the end, right? Because
Right.
we're always taught, to think positively, and you're told you can make it through anything, you could do anything you could think of, you can,
Hmm.
which is uh really, I mean, it's true, but that doesn't mean you're going to be good at it,
Right.
or it doesn't mean that you're going to actually ever overcome that thing.
No, I don't think you.
It's accepting.
It is. You have. We have to make choices when it
Absolutely.
comes to the really severe and really trying kind of realities that we have to focus on and basically recognize, right?
Right.
Um, in order to have forward progress,
I agree.
it's important to be vigilant about making sure that we are observing and recognizing the things that make us uncomfortable. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I think, I mean, I cannot speak for all, but I would say that for most of my life, and I'll say it, I feel like, throughout school and our national propaganda and whatnot,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I've kind of been conditioned to believe that Thanksgiving was this sort of like joyous
Yeah.
celebration of like, this
Sharing,
sharing,
sharing and
yeah,
caring and
sharing and caring,
loving.
very very kitty gloved, I guess.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I think that, in order for any kind of like forward progress, we have
Mm-hmm.
to take really serious, um, uncomfortable uh,
Steps.
steps and make these sort of reckonings, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I mean, not to get too deep into it, but it does kind of worry me, particularly here in our state,
Yeah.
that there are parameters which, educators can. I mean, like, it's just, it, as far as forward moving progress, that's
Uh-huh.
the antithesis of that. And I mean, it's not so much, you know, that topical issues,
Mm-hmm.
perhaps maybe, kids might bode well, getting probably more into like in middle school or high school, that kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
like sociology classes or psychology or what have you.
Right.
I just think that the more that we put parameters and like box things in and put things in the range
Yeah.
and what's the word, um kind of put things under lock and key, the more, we're going to be, uh or the more that these coming generations are going to want to fight and break that, um break out of those parameters, which, I mean, it's strange because I guess I'd never really thought of it because, you're a kid, you don't really, I guess, focus so much on those things. But um, I can say now that as a gay man,
Mm-hmm.
I'm I mean, personally for me, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm what I'm gonna try and change. No,
No.
hey, what you see is what you get. And like it's not up to
Yeah.
me to make other people feel okay or comfortable about it. I mean, it just is.
It just is.
And I just it. I guess working back to it, I just kind of freaks me out that the government is trying to kind of
Control those
control that
things.
and lasso topical things. Sorry to jump it off on the
I love it. I love it.
Go-
It's like,
fired up the conversation
no,
just
I
then.
love it. I
Just
love
going
every
right
bit of
in.
that. Every bit of that. I'm listening to you and being present, and also uh I want to piggyback off of that because you're absolutely correct in my opinion. Everybody can have their own opinion. When you watch Mother's Kitchen, when you come into Mother's Kitchen, you're going to experience opinions of people that you may not agree with or you may agree with, but I'm very heavy on being free with who you are, being present, being creating a safe space for people to be free. And if I
Mm-hmm.
don't agree with you, I may or may not say I don't agree with you. I may just say that's your choice.
Mm-hmm.
That has nothing to do with me. I tell people that I agree with that I feel you. But that's, I feel like how you feel. I feel how you feel about those things.
Same
Um
sentiments about both things.
absolutely. I think everybody should be free. Um if what you who you are harms other people, like literally harms them, you know, then that's a different story. If what you're doing, you're killing someone or you're abusing someone, then that's, but things that are in consent, they're choices,
Mm-hmm.
human choices,
Right.
you know. Um, so, I mean,
Also, the funny thing about this sort of mass reckoning, I think
mm,
both more conservative types and liberal types,
mm-hmm,
as we've sort of become more and more divided, not just politically, but just
mm-hmm,
sort of on just basic conscientious sort of principles. One would think that we are instilled these things when we're younger, and it's important to sort of carry those
right,
on with our legacies and up and coming generations,
right,
and impress upon the younger generations that are coming up that um it's important to just take a minute, take a
mm-hmm,
breath,
mm-hmm,
just sort of just wait,
mm-hmm,
and have the gumption to maybe say, what, agree to disagree.
mm-hmm,
If the biggest obstacles we're coming up upon,
mm-hmm,
we can't get over collectively, and if we're all trying to work to solve an issue or whatever,
mm-hmm,
we can outsource through learning about history.
right,
But the difficult, or I wouldn't say difficult, but the frustrating thing about that is that we all know that you know history repeats itself,
right,
and if we don't take these you know hard fought, very difficult, very troubled past, we
mm-hmm,
have, particularly in this country, there's no way we can make any kind of forward moving progress.
I agree.
And I'm for any I'm for any kind of any solutions that ultimately bring everybody together. You know, I can't speak for everybody, obviously, but I can say that if I had some sort of a binding um, thing that everybody could kind of jump on board on, and something to cause unity um, across any party line or any affiliation, and
Mhm.
work together to really make change and real change, not just sort of like um, temporary, satiable, satiating
Mhm.
change. You know what I mean? But real, not performative, real, um, cohesive, um, sedentary change.
Mm.
Something that doesn't just sort of like um,
Mhm.
dissipate
You
over
want
a
this to
couple of
you
years.
want, yeah, because I was thinking when you were saying what you saying talking about the changes that were being made that are set in place to cause limitations.
Mm-hmm.
I thought to myself, it doesn't surprise me in so many ways because we hadn't the changes that had been made haven't been sedentary. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
The changes that have. Okay, so I'll use this as an example. Biden is, reversing and pardoning a bunch of marijuana convictions.
hmm hmm
And while that's a step in the right direction,
right.
ironically, because he was one of the people that sort of um, the whole tough on crime thing in the 90s, the crime bill. But
Come on,
I'm
man.
very, I'm very, no, no, no. And
No, I'm
I'm
with
very,
you. I'm with you.
I'm very, I'm very supportive in his actual, performative criminal reform or criminal justice reform, and these steps that he's taking, actionable, real steps are going to
Excuse me.
ultimately turn the tide
Oh, definitely
and undo some of the stuff that unfortunately
happen.
happened.
But then
Mhm.
you're talking about
Crash.
the universe is so hilarious.
They're like, hold up, pause.
Don't say nothing else. Don't say nothing, mama.
It's just like, well, hold up. That man that brought his guitar now, and
Yeah.
is he running for office or
Is
what's
it
the
what is
gig?
going on? I mean, everybody that comes to Mother's Kitchen knows. I think every person that sat on my sofa before and after I started doing these segments and series, when I first did the couch sessions, it was like, okay, you got these you have I started it because people come to my home. When I meet people, they connect with me. I connect with people. It's always been that way since I was a little girl.
Hmm.
And a lot of them are artists, or they connect heavily with the arts and spirituality. They are the oddballs. They are the people that you were talking about before we started recording. You know what I
Right.
mean? So I'm
Let me ask you this.
uh-huh.
Sorry to
No,
interrupt
you're
you, but let
good.
me ask you this, because when we met at the
Mhm.
Big Top Brew,
Mhm.
excuse me, the open mic downtown,
Yeah.
there was an energy about you
Uh-huh.
that I was just like I peeped you when I was
Mhm.
in there,
Mhm.
and so when we came outside and I was, this natting with my partner or what have you,
Yeah. You're like, who is
I was like, "Are what is she? Is this what's the gig?" Like, but I was so intrigued.
by me
Be,
as my person
but just
because I'm
I
unique. I don't conform to
you
boxes.
hadn't said a word to me, but I was just like,
Mhm. Mhm.
oh,
Mhm.
oh.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
Okay, that's where my
Wee
head.
wee wee
Mm?
wee wee. I was
I was like, babe, is she that?
that's
I
that's
what?
mm, where she come from though?
Since you walked up in the club, I've been
I'm
giving
giving
you
you
the
the
eye.
eye.
We could dance if you.
Whoa.
Y'all thought I
Get it
forgot about
cracking
that.
like you
Y'all thought
lie.
forgot about that gig. Where's she at, Brandy?
I
Hey, babe.
love Brandy. Brandy, if you ever see this episode, because I feel like
It's YouTube. She very well could.
she'll see it. Her name's in there. Look at this. Now, We get a live performance from Greg Bond and Mother's Kitchen.
Yes.
I'm so happy you came. It's been like since we connected that day at Big Top, I was like,
Mm.
I have to connect with him. But I was like, there's so much going on. And
That that held me after we connected.
same.
That held me for the rest of that week because I was just like, because my partner and I had driven separately, and I
Yeah.
went home and I was like, and he was like, "Well, go on ahead, bring her over." I was like, "Okay, okay, well, here's what here's where I fucked up."
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, can I curse?
Yeah, do what you want. Like shit.
I was so I was so enamored,
Yeah.
but and I don't want to, but intimidated.
Thank you for saying that.
Intimidated, not I mean, like, I'm intimidated because your you-ness, like, like, I'm one of those people that believes that it can't always be that good. I'm gonna do something to
Fuck it up,
up.
right?
And
Like
I
you
just
cannot be what I thought you. There is no way that the universe sent me this shit.
it was like,
It's too good to be
oh
true.
my god, it was. And I don't mean to put you on that pedestal,
Baby, I ain't
Regina.
shit. I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
Oh my
I just had to
god.
do that to
I'm
shake it
like on
up.
this show, just like I'm over here, just like I need a face.
You know what? I'm
I really
having to accept this about myself. Okay, to be honest. Thank you for that
but you have
because
that magnetism, you know what I mean?
yeah, I
That
do. And
attraction.
I don't know what it is because I always felt like I didn't. There we go.
Just crashing again.
It's crashing again. I'm so fucking clumsy. I don't know what that is. Uh, I think I asked as a little girl. I asked the universe. I asked God. You know, I was very religious as a kid, right?
Mhm.
So I would talk to God very a lot and pray a lot as a kid. I was very super spiritual. Like I wanted to be a minister,
Okay.
like preacher. Like did my first
So
sermon.
you
Yeah, I was
are
a minister. I was a youth minister, but I am right
a
because my
minister
mom.
because you had ministered to me that on that
Yeah, uh huh. And
naturally.
so
You know what I mean? Like you had that
it's natural.
natural,
Both of
right?
my parents were preachers. My
Right.
dad was a preacher when he was living, and I didn't grow up with him, but that energy is like energy transfers, right?
Mhm.
So like my mom also is a Pentecostal preacher.
Okay.
I mean, she said to me yesterday, like, I'm just waiting for the Lord to refill you with the Holy Ghost, you know? And I'm like, Mom, I'll be speaking in tongues walking around my house because the Spirit is with me no matter where it's at. That doesn't mean that I have to be religious or live this particular way because God is energy, right?
Right. It's
So
particle. He's
cause
particles.
cause I can get deep into the actual book, right? I grew up studying with my mom. My mom,
So you know the book frontwards and
oh,
backwards
front and back.
and
Like, I mean, I know uh I can break down the Greek, Chaldean, and the Hebrew. You feel me? As at 8, my mom was studying that with me. So when people talk to me about religion and stuff, it's like, yo, I've already been through all these stages. I am free from that mindset or that when I see people, I experience people in their energy. They're just conductors. They're in a shell, right?
absolutely.
And that's been hard because I went through all of the stages. You know, I went
Mhm.
through the whole like I want my mom used to be very heavy into activism as, you know, in her early years. And I'm
Right.
like, okay, I'm gonna be Black Power, you know what I'm
Right. Right.
saying?
Right.
This,
Right.
and I'm like,
You're
I
still an extension of that. You
right.
know
And I
that
am.
doesn't change, but
That's why
it
I say nappy happy, baby. And
okay.
also, that's not all of me.
Right. We're so
It's
dimensional.
pieces.
We are so
Yes,
dimensional.
you
We are
said that at
so
the
many.
beginning.
There's so many literal and figurative moving parts to you and me.
Absolutely.
And when I came into your orbit, or vice versa, you came into my orbit.
Because I chased you. See, you said you're enamored by me, but I chased you out the door
Do
because
you think?
Spirit said to me, connect with him. You're supposed to connect with him. And I'm like, I'm shy. Like, I don't really just go up to people.
Right. Yeah.
And so people usually are thinking, like, oh, she's being, you know, like reserved. And it's like, and also my shyness has to do with energy. It's like I'm reading
Hmm.
I'm conducting energy,
Right.
but I'm also
We get the
experiencing
readings
energy.
first. We take the
Yes.
readings in. We're like, okay,
Yes.
is this reading okay? All right. So now I'm about to experience you. So
Right.
I've got to really feel or gauge where you're kind of at
Yes.
right now.
Yes. Yes.
And
Yes.
and had me,
And
and had me, a couple. I was feeling cute. You feel me? And like I had set up outside with my partner, and right before we had orbited each
yeah.
other,
Uh-huh.
my partner and I were outside. We were looking at these two. So this is the real gig. So
Okay.
we, so we were outside, and these two police officers had come out the parking lot,
yeah.
and I I looked at my I looked at my partner. I said, "You should ask them." I can't even remember what it was because I thought they was fine.
oh
You
my god.
feel me? So right as that was about to happen, there was a dude that was playing there that night that had
Mhm.
like that was really, I want to say, going against the grain of the vibe that was there. He
Yeah.
was not a bad person. He was
Mhm.
not like a, but I feel like people were really quick to make him a villain, which also is a very interesting thing too. How we like to do that. How we like to make characters. We like to be like, you're the villain and you're the hero, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna put you on a pedestal. But
Yeah.
that's side gig. But anyway, so do you
Mm,
remember that
mm,
guy? He
mm.
was playing and he like screwed up the song or whatever, and he got mad and he like stormed off the stage. And I think when he was outside while somebody else was playing, he like maybe threw his guitar. It was something like that.
I did not. It was the night I was there?
Yeah, that was the night that we met,
I did not know.
because that's why the cops had showed up, because the person had walked around the block and showed out
I didn't even know the police came.
at one point. So that's
I
when we
had
were outside, and that's when we met, because I had looked at Boo Boo, and I had said, "Well, babe, go on ahead and then before that could happen, woo, like it was craziest thing. It was like scene plays out, drama, Mother Color exits, Greg and Mother Color meet. Then that's its own thing. I was like, am I in Greek
wow.
theater right now?
You
What
know
is
what?
the real tea?
Like every time someone tells me the story how they met me, it's like really cool. Like I swear they're like,
It's
yeah, like
true
and
though.
usually it involves my cajon.
Yeah,
Usually
because you.
the first
Hmm.
time people like actually see me perform usually is with my cajon and it's like some random situation.
You played on this dude from Fort. You played on his songs. You
Uh
played on.
Chase,
You played on
Chase,
Chases, but you
the
played on two.
Jasons, Delta Fives.
Yes. All
Yes.
right, that's what it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's purple number 5.
Oh.
He has one of the colors. He has one of the colors in the color
She
spectrum.
said, "Well, hold up now."
Purple number 5. Purple number 5. Shout out to Delta 5.
My
Yes,
bad.
yes, yes. From the live from Mother's Kitchen, baby. I had to go ahead and shout you out.
Okay.
I got a few colors in the color spectrum. I have green, I have purple, and I have blue. I think it is right
How
now.
so?
There are 9 colors in the color
Okay.
spectrum.
Well, how did y'all? How did the colors come to be, or why? How did they
Uh
designate?
well,
What's the gig on
the
that?
designation is coming by, I don't know why I want to use the word indignation.
Baby, it's all dignified now.
You know, whenever you come into this portal with Mother Color, I really think it's the people that really fall in love with me and my vision,
Mm.
and I fall in love with theirs.
It's benevolent energy. You know
Yeah,
what I
it's
mean? Like when I
just
saw you, I was like,
mhm. Yeah, and I was like,
okay.
when I first saw you
Hmm.
at um the singer songwriter, it was no songwriters
Songwriter rounds.
rounds. Yes, Katie.
Yeah.
When I saw you there, I was like, yo, it was here. You were just eating up my solar plexus, man. I was like, oh God, like stop. And I'm like, I need to know who he is. And also I move on energy. So
Mhm.
spirit said you'll see him again.
Okay.
Right. And if anything, you'll be able to ask Katie if you really need to connect with him, right? But spirit said you'll see him again. So I was like, okay, cool. And then people started talking to me and I just ended up getting lost in that always happens when I go places. So I very seldom go anywhere.
Right.
When I go, it's
There's
because
movement.
spirit
There's
told me
purpose. Yeah.
yes. And so I hadn't been anywhere since I saw you the last time.
Oh.
So the
Oh.
second time I saw you, I was like, oh, okay, I know I'm here.
Okay.
Because I saw you. So I had to chase you out the door and say, hey, uh you're amazing, and like, do you need a percussionist? Are you trying to do something?
Yeah.
Like, it's hard for me to like talk to people sometimes because it's like
For
I
sure.
can't tell you everything at once. Like, you have to just experience me.
Hmm.
But if you feel that what I feel, then we can like make that be a thing. Like, we just
It's it,
bars.
and it's that Crash wants to be in the gig so
It
bad.
does. It's like, just
He
chill,
can't
baby.
stand it. He
I don't know
can't
which one of
stand
my
it.
ancestors over here talking about play something, play
Play
something,
something.
play something, baby.
But I mean, I so watching you, I was just like, you know what? I could really we could ebb each other into each other's mix. It's not
Mm.
about like, okay, so over the weekend I got my buddy Ed to come and play with me at the bridge out in Gulf
Yeah.
Breeze.
Yeah.
And that was like so freeing. Because I'm always,
Mm.
out there
Just out there doing
solo
your thing
solo
solo,
gigging.
and people are like, I love
And
him. And but you're like,
Ed's guitar skills and his soul that he puts into the shout out Ed Adams of the Victrolas are great. You should check him out. The Victrolas are great.
hey, hey.
Um
I've been yo, Simple Strings is laughing at us.
we're a pretty funny bunch.
We are. We are. I
Um
love this.
but that it was just so great because it was like it was so it was just so nice to have to mix it up with somebody else and to get their get their
Yeah.
different thing. So I had put on I had put on the gig on the social media. I was like in light of or in the not light of in spirit of the songwriters festival on the beach.
Yeah.
I had my own little you feel me because I was just like
Mm.
I knew that was going on out there
Yeah.
and I had so much fun on Wednesday. Shout out to Katie Deneen, amazing musician.
I love Katie.
Live for
That's
her. Live
bae.
for her. Love
Katie, love
her.
you. That I would I
And
yo.
invited me and some friends of ours out, and I was just like, this is
Yeah.
everything.
Everything. This is
Oh, it was so much fun.
everything.
So that I was just sort of was like, man, someday I'm gonna get my own little shindig. Just
Yeah.
something. But it's formal, but it's informal. And it always should be informal because just and I'm gonna reference her again because I live for her music. She has a song called "There Are No Strangers Here, Only
Mhm.
Friends." That shit tore me up at the songwriter round, the first gig, the
Yeah.
first go around at
Uh-huh.
Easygoing.
Mhm.
But it's true, in this contingent, in this music contingent, where there's just this town is freaking rife
It
with
is.
talent.
It is full of it.
Her open mics. I mean, I go down there just to go have myself a little free show.
Mhm. For
Free
real.
show.
For real.
Um, there's so much talent here. And so one of the champions of that was, you know, taking us taking folks down to UWF and putting them on the radio. Rick Kendall was
Mm.
good. Hey man. Hey, Rick Kendall, shout out. But he's one of the said champions that was getting talent and taking them up to UWF and been like,
Yeah.
here, listen, these,
Here,
take
listen
it,
to these artists.
and
They're
it's just like,
amazing.
but
Yeah.
but as far as that goes, it is just nice to have come back because I was out in Jax for a little bit to come back and see that there are people that are championing for music here.
And
formal,
creating
informal, and
space,
creating
right?
space for that.
Come
And
on.
it just gives me so much life.
I love it. Hey, every bit of it. I'm gonna do something really quick here. Because we've been all up in it in a good way. In a good way. In a good way. I'm gonna go ahead and share with you guys Greg's website. Uh I'm gonna take a moment just to show you where to go here. Greg I'm sorry. Greg bondmusic.com. I need you
Easy.
guys to go there now. Go there now. Go ahead and take a moment. Yeah, yeah. Go ahead there. I was driving Uber this weekend and today, and I was just playing your music. And every person that got out of the car thanked me for driving them. No one said anything specifically about the music, but I knew it was like
That's
the whole energy of the whole vibe, right? You know what I mean? Because you know,
it,
yeah,
that kind of, and I live and love you for that. I mean, I live and love you anyway, but for them to have the experience to just ride with you, conversate, and that be the backdrop
yeah.
gives me all my life.
I need you to know that I really enjoy your music. I enjoy you. I enjoy your music. I enjoy your energy. And it's only been, this is our third time meeting,
Mhm.
right?
The
You would think we've known each other for forever, right?
That's what I'm talking about. That
Cosmic
that
connection.
energy.
Yep.
It's a safety. It's like a warm blanket because you didn't have to. The energy transcends formalities. It transcends, like,
Mm-hmm.
little these nuances that we expect,
Yes.
to sort of like ride settle into our, acquaintanceship, or whatever, or meeting people. And that's why, more than anything, I'm grateful for that and to that, because you don't get that with many people. And I'm kind of glad that you don't get that with many people, because I can't be everybody's friend, and I'm not everybody's cup of tea.
Right.
So
No, you know what? It's funny because in the industry, like I chose a long time that I wanted to be independent, right?
Mhm.
And I didn't know what all that came with, but in some ways, I feel like I did, right? I knew that it wasn't going to be easy, but I wanted my freedom. It's just like working for yourself and working for corporate America. And when you're really an artist, right?
Mhm.
9 times out of 10, you're spiritual.
You're now, let me know if you vibe this, if you dig this. But
Okay.
when I'm really into a song, a
Mm-hmm.
performance,
Mm-hmm.
when I'm sharing, really
Mm-hmm.
sharing my music
Mm-hmm.
with other folks,
Yeah.
that's the closest thing to God that I can
Come
get.
on. I feel like I'm conducting. When
We're the vest. Yeah,
I'm a vessel. I'm a
the vessels.
human conductor.
Yeah.
I am just allowing this to flow through me.
Oh
Like when my
my
mom said,
God.
I'll be, one day, I'm praying for God to refill you with the Holy Ghost. Because, see, she knows me as a child. She's learning me as a woman, right?
Hmm.
Because there are things
I love that.
she hasn't accepted about me that are choices, things that are my choice that
Hmm.
I've chosen or I'm okay with. It's a part of my journey, my personal path, but I don't accept anyone's judgment of me. That's your perception. That is your perspective. Those are two of my favorite words now, perception and perspective,
Hmm.
because you don't know me,
Right.
right? You know of me.
And if you break down both of those words,
Mm-hmm.
perception, perspective, it is
Mm.
for each and every one's individual speculative or like for what
Yeah.
you are seeing
Yeah.
and what you believe and take in. You know what I mean? That's um each and every one of us has our little, thing.
We do. We do. And
Or
I
I mean our opinion.
no, I feel you. That is your thing. That's
Yeah,
your thing. How you feel? That's your
right.
thing.
It
That's your
is.
perspective. That's your view. That's your
Mm-hmm.
it's your thing.
It is my thing.
It's how you get down, right? How you
Exactly.
view the world, how you feel about the world, you know? It took me a long time because I'm a Pisces and being spiritual, coming here like this, right? You know, I got an Akashic reading
Uh-huh.
once and they're like, you came like this. Like you've always been spiritual. You came here like you're not an old soul. You are a old no, they said that every time you come back, you incarnated as a new soul, but you carry the wisdom from
You're
all of your
adaptable. You take that wisdom
bring it to the next
and you
life.
adapt it and you formulate it and orient it to the next um um iteration, right?
Yes.
The next
Yes.
the next existence, the next
Yes.
living, the next frequency field or
Yeah.
dimensional field,
Yeah.
dimension, I guess.
Right. Which means that it's like, okay, I lived this life, right? That life dies. I don't carry that life, but I cipher
You do.
to move to relive, right? So I came here
Absolutely.
fresh.
What say you about the difficulty we as beings carry around with us, these burdens, like, whether we like to admit them, these chains, I'll call them chains,
Yeah,
that we bring with us from
past lives.
past lives, past chapters of this current life.
Right, right, right.
Um,
Oh,
and I, as a writer, and I'm
hmm.
sure you can empathize with this as well. It makes for great content, and it
Yeah,
makes for, you know, a very it supplements our healing process because we
absolutely.
do take those chains and we are able
Hmm.
to look at them and we are able to see, if we can, if we are willing,
Hmm.
to what we can make out of it. We don't even necessarily have to make anything out of it,
Yeah,
but what say you about that um, sort of uh, influence um, on the creative sort of side of things? Um, Things that you would, uh,
ooh,
some things sort of like better left, kept in the little box and not to be unsheathed or rehashed, or do you sort of see those chains or whatever as what they are, and that's kind of it.
expressing them as whatever.
Hmm.
Some things. There are some songs that I created that I haven't released because I don't know how it will affect other people.
But
Um,
what about you though?
I mean, I feel like for me, expressing them was enough. The therapy of going through the process of expressing those things
And purging it out, maybe.
and I feel like I said it, but I don't feel like everybody has to hear that, because there are certain emotions
Sure.
that I wouldn't want to rehash. If someone said, I want you to
Absolutely.
perform this, I wouldn't want to perform that. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But I got the emotion out
You got it out,
through
yeah.
creating, right? And those things are in a vault. I mean, and sometimes I'm like, do I want to release this? Oh, I go back through old music, Do I want to release? I have hundreds of songs. Like I just
Because I feel like there's some people.
hmm.
I know some folks that you don't mind if I set this
No,
here,
no,
do
no,
you?
you're fine.
Let me set it right there so I can lie down for a second.
Hmm.
I've known some friends of mine that have believed or just do believe that it's important to just get it all out. You got to get it all out, purge it out, purge it out, purge it out. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? And because if you keep it bottled in, yes, I agree with those sentiments
Right.
to a point.
Right.
Um, and I certainly empathize with the fact that sort of getting these maybe like a really dark or hurtful or painful rotting emotion, just to
Out of
purge
your
it out of your
body.
system. Yeah,
Yeah, but
it's just important. But I can't say that. I mean, I believe that all of that should be should be thrown on an album or thrown on
absolutely, I
thrown
agree.
out for the public writ large to listen to, and because think some things are just better left
Unsaid or
unsaid
unheard,
or
rather.
unshared. Yeah.
Some things are, I mean, they're for
Mhm.
private. I think in this society, everybody's like, share, 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 share. There is no privacy. Sometimes
But
people
the
ask me
irony,
questions.
though, I'm
Yeah.
so sorry. I'm so sorry. But the irony of all that
Mm-hmm.
is that we've come into this, we have been in this era that, our parents were kind of impressed that you shouldn't say anything. Not only are things better left unsaid, but you just don't
We're
even
at
bring
a
up.
whole total extreme, opposite
Right,
extreme right now.
right. And maybe the ones that do sort of like, maybe it's backfiring in ways that are more harmful than we thought could happen or go down in that way. You see what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? I'm sorry to cut you off, but
No,
that's I just had that thought.
you speaking your mind. You feeling you like you feeling what you saying. You since you've gotten on the show, this is the safe space. Like I have a this is the last uh one of the last shows of this series.
Mhm,
Um and then or season, and then I'm gonna come back with a whole new season. It's gonna be a little bit different. I already have like some co-hosts and things of that nature that are all over.
mhm,
So they won't all be from Pensacola. Kind of expanding the network a little bit more just to reach a bigger audience and also connect the dots because us, like
mhm.
people who are like us, need to be connected and we need a safe space, and that's Mother's
Absolutely.
Kitchen.
This is incredible.
Thank you.
And I saw the previous episode, and I was
Mhm.
just like, let me find out that when I when I as soon as I opened the door, that's the gig. Because I didn't know, like, I thought this was like kind of in a
Yeah.
back room or like a, you know what I
Ah,
mean? Like it,
I got you.
I don't know. But I was like,
Yes.
this it's
This is
right
the yep. This is
here.
spot. This is spot.
This spot.
This is a spot, man. I told myself that I wanted to have like a I need to turn that fan off. I said I wanted to have like a just
Oop.
a space that was comfortable. Like
Mhm,
people literally since I was a teenager would come to my house and go to sleep. Like I'll be making music. I've always had like a studio space in my home.
mhm,
And people always felt like I'm gonna come over to your house. I had some friends that would just go in my refrigerator to see if there's like food, and they're like, "What'd you cook, Gina?
mhm.
Gina baby." They call me
Gina
Gina baby.
baby.
Gina baby, what you? Shout out to Kenji. What you cook, Gina baby? It's a Monday. I'm like, why y'all at my house on a Monday, right? A Monday evening,
They can
like
count on the community here because you bring about community naturally.
it's like going to somebody's mama house or their auntie house.
But then the
That's a safe space though,
then the
which is
then the pastorship or the kind of
right.
plays into that as well
Yeah,
because it's there's
it's
so many
church.
different elements and levels to that. But I think that's one of the things that was on the tip of my tongue, or to tell my partner when you had come
Mm,
into the vibe. You feel me?
mm.
And like I had said, babe, 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 what hit hot? Because I know you.
Yes.
And then you started playing the cajon, and I was just
Mm.
like, oh, okay, well, like
This
shook.
is
Let me
different.
just be real. I was shook because that that had not been introduced in the scope
Oh, in that
in
space.
that space in such a long time.
Mm,
I think maybe the last time I it was just such a it had rocked my world. And I
yes.
was
I'm here to rock your world,
so
baby. I had to say
intrigued.
that.
I was so intrigued
Oh, we got.
and
Hey,
so
bestie. She tuning in from Nassau, Bahamas.
oh wow.
Yeah, we all over the globe. What's up, baby? Had to tell it. You're saying I'm gonna turn off the ceiling fan. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Are you good?
And
No,
pour me some of the drink.
I was just like, it wasn't just the musicianship, man. It was all of it. And when you see people that like really like catch your kind of music sensibilities and or not even just that, like that you just really vibe with and you really dig. I mean, it changes your life. I mean, I know it sounds so silly and so not silly, but it's not like it ain't that deep, but it is that deep,
No, it
you
is.
know.
It's
And
that
like I
deep.
said, our I don't want to say chance meeting now. I want to say our cosmically kind of
Yes,
arranged
yes, yes, yes.
meeting.
Cosmic connection.
The connection had
Yeah.
had held me down for a whole week,
Yeah, that is so
and I was just like,
fucking
I was just
cool.
sailing, you know, just feeling like. I mean, I generally was just in a better mood, you know, like and I'm so grateful for those kinds of things, and I'm grateful for you.
I'm grateful for you too, Greg. I really am. I literally am the person that wakes up in the morning and says, in my head, a part of me wants to be regular and complain, right? Just like a little part of me,
Want to
right?
be regular?
Not be regular, but yeah, sometimes I do want to be regular cuz
I
it's
feel that though.
hard.
I feel that.
Like
I
this shit
totally
ain't
feel that.
easy.
With that part.
You know,
Yeah.
operating at a high frequency, you know,
It can
being
be
it,
I
it,
see what you're
it
saying.
is
Yeah.
easy. I apologize, universe. It is easy, right? And also, it is testing
It does.
to your flesh.
When when I had vibed that not only, you know, this the music's great or whatever, and there was just something that I was just like, oh, I'm in this thing, you know, like
Hmm.
I'm like really feeling her. But when we started chopping it up, I was like, oh my God. And the thing is happening where we're on that wavelength. It is such
Yeah,
a joy and such a nicety, a nice nuance to be on a wave, on the wave, ride the wave,
yeah. Ride the
surfing with you.
wave. I said today. I said on Facebook,
Surfing.
I'm a wave master because I believe in creating waves. Oh, tell my niecey hello. Hey, Mari, love you. Okay, so we are at 10:01, and it doesn't matter. I run my time, all that good stuff. Um. Ah.
Sorry, I didn't want to.
Oh,
I wanted to play that for you because I know you really like that song.
please. Oh
Yes,
my
and you're like,
God, please.
wait.
Okay, I'm gonna be quiet. You
um,
are now listening to the amazing, melodic, engulfing sounds of Greg Bond.
and I dedicate this to you, darling.
Thank you, love.
I go out wandering. I can't seem to find a single goddamn thing. I am told by the higher ups above I will be reprimanded if I act out of fear. Not out of love. And I've been kicking that old can down the road. My road to hell is paved with good intentions and bars of gold. To be sure that they seek to understand. Have you sooner like being honest, man? If you do not want to describe certainly not of your tribe, you know the say with great dismay, blood is on your hands. Yes, it's nice outside, ain't no rain to be had. Did you know the term seasonal affective disorder? It's what they go say. I ain't the brightest tool in the shade. I'm often told I use my tools more than I use my head. To be sure that they seek to understand. Have you soon like be an honest man? That you can be sure, and they'll say, no, they'll say with great dismay, the blood is on your hand. Blood is on your hand. Blood is on your hands. Blood is on your hands.
Oh my god, I want to scream. I am gonna scream. Oh my god.
I'm so happy that you live for that.
I live for that. I played it like, yo, that took me through all these drives with people in the car and driving late and just,
And let me
Oh
tell
my
you a little
god.
share share some tea about that song.
Okay.
So I wrote that back in 2020 about um I think the general thing that I had really kind of focused on about as far
Mm-hmm.
as the content is that of that is how ridiculous our steadfastness when it comes to like the people that we in our camps, you know what I mean,
Right,
our
right, right.
family, our friends,
Community,
our folks, who we roll with,
family,
yeah.
friends. Yeah.
How ridiculous it is that this kind of, sort of time of like cancel culture and how quick people are to just sort of
Kick you
drop you,
away.
yeah,
Oh my god.
throw you away as so quickly, because in the lyrics I say, much to their dismay, they'll say the blood is on your hands, because
Mm,
it's quick to, it's horrible, but I and thankfully, my family and my friends, they rocked with me. They rock with
yeah.
me, but um I feel like more so in this time
Hmm.
than ever before,
Right.
um
Because we're more accepted.
we are more accepted, but also we are very much divided
Oh,
in so many things.
absolutely.
And because of this era of like cancel culture and
Mm.
stuff like that, real quick to be like, oh, I don't really know her. You know what
I
I
don't
mean?
really know
Like,
her because I don't agree, and
because
that's too much. And I would have never did that. I would have never said that.
right,
And I feel like they should have did X, Y, and Z.
right.
Absolutely.
That's
I
kind of
mean,
where my
I
thing
feel the
is.
same way. I mean, I like the man Kanye, right?
Hmm.
As an artist, as a
Right.
creative,
Yeah.
right?
I'm
And
still into Kanye's like
art,
art. Yeah.
right? Now, what
Oh, when it
media?
all when it all falls down.
You feel
Sorry.
me? Y'all be people be acting like, cause he. But the
College
truth
Dropout is
is,
like one of the best albums out there. I'm sorry.
Jesus walks. This man was
Jesus,
on.
Black Skinhead. I mean, I know it's not on that
Come
album,
on,
but I live
he
for that.
really.
I
Come
love
on,
that
Kanye started a lot of
poster.
niggas in Paris. Come on,
Yeah,
he kept going. He's something. I'm trying to show
he's
y'all the
great.
way,
He's great.
right? But
What his political affiliations and what he thinks and what his personal beliefs are, that uh,
I'm gonna
obviously
say
I'm not
this:
ascribed to or subscribe to. That has no bearing on how
his
I feel
art,
about his art.
right?
So that's like not.
I'm gonna also say this: people hide and say they or act like they don't believe something or pretend like they do believe
Because it's
something
the fad or
because
the
it's a
trend.
fad or it's the trend, right?
Mhm.
Kanye has always been a person to speak his mind. That's his mind. And based upon his personal life, and this is, I will tell anybody this,
Mhm.
nobody that makes music do I look up to them as a role model. They're a freaking artist. Artists go through some of the hardest situations, having to make the hardest decisions about what they're going to do.
Mhm.
I don't want to live a double life, but I'm forced to live a double life as an artist because I still have to feed my family. And ultimately, that means that
When commerce is involved,
when commerce
when money is involved, we've got to
always,
be, or who, I guess,
you
whomever
got
the
to show
label is,
this.
when the label, because you've worked at, you've been, you already know what the
Listen, the
gig
thing
is.
is, ultimately, so there's a label that tried to, that I had a contract on the table during COVID, right?
Hmm.
As a producer, and I would have been bringing in artists from this area, like pretty much signing contracts with them through my company
Hmm.
under this company. And it's a major label, right?
Yeah.
And then they have derivatives.
Was it?
Mm-mm.
Oh.
This was not a urban label, but
Oh.
they wanted to create an urban side to
Like
this
a
label.
depart, or yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, okay, I
And
got you, I got
so
you.
this label's only dealt in like rock and
Oh, okay, I got you.
country, blah blah blah.
Right.
But they said, "Hey, we want to do something different." And I have friends in different places and that I've worked with over the years. And a friend of mine said, "Hey, look, yo, what you trying to do? What you got going on? Boom, boom, boom. I have this opportunity. You trying to lock in?" And I say, "Well, let me see. Shoot me the contract. Boop, 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 boop." Before you know it, he's calling me saying, "Hey, do not sign that shit. If burn that shit."
So
Because these labels are not paying. You have someone that's the labels are set up, whoever's in charge, whoever the CFO is
Hmm.
and whoever the CEO is of this company, because it's just a company,
Right.
right? They have to have integrity. And a lot of them don't have integrity because they've had to sacrifice so much to get into the position that they're in because of the people that are over them. There are only maybe four major labels,
What's the
three or four
objective?
major
I
labels
mean, what is the objective these days? If the label, so
to
so if
keep people that are
okay,
rich.
but but an actual record in the sense that I go out and pay 13 or 14 or $15 for it is obsolete. That concept,
Oh
that
yeah, yeah,
concept
yeah. That
is
doesn't exist
that
anymore.
they don't fly. And I was talking to another musician that has is in the industry, for lack
Yeah.
of a better
Mm-hmm.
explanation.
The major industry,
The
because
well, I mean, he is
you have major, you got indie industry, and
indie.
then you
Yeah,
got
if you're
indie. That's not really industry. You have underground. You have
right
a whole underground grassroots
movement,
movement
right.
and movements that don't even subscribe to the formula of the major industry. So like
So what is the major industry if artists, regardless if you sign to major or indie or what have you, if you're only making money touring around and whatever merch I guess you have, there's no video play that I know of these days. There's no, and the radio's the same, like 40 songs. Where
because they
you
have the
where
money.
but where does that, where do you fit?
There is no middle space. So you have majors
And you have indie.
and then you have indie. And then you
Hmm.
have the people that are at the top of the indie, and then you have that kind of skim. You have a very small, just like you got 40 at the top,
Hmm.
you got a small pack in the middle of that that's like indie, but they get major play and they're almost in a position to get a major label
They have
or
a couple singles or a single that might be doing pretty well.
mhm, mhm.
So the single is actually making you money, and you tour off of the single if it does well.
Yeah, but
So you
then
don't
it's
even need
like
a label, right?
no, nobody needs a label
In
unless
this, in the
I'll say it like this. I made Mother's Kitchen a creative agency
right,
because
Grapevine
ultimately,
Music LLC, that's the gig. That, but yeah, yeah, no, no, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I can see that.
because outside of music, as an artist now, you can't just be
A singer.
a singer.
Hmm.
Like you can with the right
Team.
team,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
But because of the industry and them screwing up over so many people, right? The people who are in power who have the money. So you have these big people who have money, mainly Caucasian men who are in position. They're the ones who own Warner, Sony.
Yeah.
It's only a few major labels. All of the labels that come out under them, like Atlantic, Epic, all of them are owned by those labels.
Oh yeah.
Like there is no,
Like yeah, that makes sense.
all of those labels are owned by a major label like Sony or Warner. So
So where's the money at? Like, so what makes them money if it's only
taking advantage of artists.
like of what their image is, what their actual music is, or like they make money off of the, because it's all singles these days. You don't hear
It's
no albums
everything.
really.
So if you sign, if an artist comes to a label, oh, we about to get deep. All right, so
Let me put
but
it.
but
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I'm
real
sorry.
real
Continue.
quick, if an artist comes to a label and they say, I want um a label goes to an artist. Now the way it is now, for depending on your genre, is gonna make a huge difference. Me, if I shop myself to the industry as a hip hop artist, as an urban artist, there are certain standards that they expect from you to be running in competition with whomever else. Anything outside of that, you better have a really good bag behind you to support that, because marketing and advertisement is what separates it.
So you have to have a strong kind of
You gotta have a bag. I got a homie that worked for a major that does marketing. He has a marketing company, and he said someone came to him with like 750,000. He said that's gonna barely get that artist seen in the
no
market.
shit.
Yeah, because There's only 40 artists or top
Oh
20,
yeah,
top
that's true.
40.
Yeah, yeah, you're right.
So the major labels keep betting on these artists. All right, we're gonna put another 10 on that. Don't worry about it. Just go ahead and put another 100,000 on X, Y, and Z. They're putting 100,000 into every record. So in order for you as an indie artist, you do have to have a community,
A massive
a
following.
massive following for them to call you. I was in the studio one time when they found this artist, T Grizzly. I was in Atlanta in a studio and I was doing some film stuff for somebody else. And then an A&R came in the room and was like, hey, I just found this artist. He was like, I need to use a computer. He's like, we like, it's two artists. There's an engineer, I think one of Kevin Gates' producers, and a songwriter. And they're like
Hmm.
going through songs. I'm just doing BTS, right?
Right.
This guy, A&R comes in, pretty much takes the whole session and was like, hey, I gotta use a computer real quick. I need to just pull up this artist. He pulls
Hmm.
up this artist video. The guy's going viral. He's like, I talked to his manager. I set up a meeting. I'm about to meet with him today. I'm about to meet with this artist today.
Hmm.
So the artist had to have a certain amount of money to pump
Mm.
to get past the algorithm.
Mm. Okay.
Marketing and advertisement has always been a thing. Back in the day, it was radio,
Right.
billboards. Those things still exist because people are still in the matrix at the same time. Because there are people that
Like the
still
actual Billboard charts, like charting musicians on that,
know the
like an actual Billboard.
actual billboard. Like you had billboards, you had radio heavy, you had DJs. Now, if depending on what genre you're in, you don't have those things. Cause I don't know any folk DJs. I'm sure there's some.
No, I see what you're saying. I think as an artist to break, you can't. I don't think you can really be a one trick pony. You
You
gotta
can't.
be. You've gotta
I don't
be.
see that at all.
You've gotta. No, I'm not calling myself a one trick pony.
Go ahead, the one trick pony. Get on,
I
get
love.
on.
I love
Oh,
doing. You know,
sorry.
I love screaming. I love getting into more punk. I love getting into more rock. But
Yeah.
I realize that the format for any artist, and it's not just now. I mean, it's always been if you can adapt and be adaptable and be um, I don't want to say change, but you have to adapt and you have to have other things to bring to the table,
Oh,
and that is
absolutely.
has always been a thing. I mean,
Always been a thing.
you I mean, even if I was in a band, I would want my band to be able to do different things. You know what I mean? And I,
Style wise.
I always, I've always known that. But for me, I think the impetus just for my, just to keep my curiosity and my excitement and my general love of music,
Mm-hmm.
going
Mm-hmm.
just as an artist myself. I mean, I can I'll release a song 7 different ways till Sunday.
Mm.
Or I'll release a soul sort of style song, or I'll do something that's maybe not what I'm more known for, but I can bank on, for myself at least, every single time my own Greg Bondness being in the mix.
Absolutely.
It's the writing, it's the pensiveness, it's the feeling, it's all that stuff.
I think that when you say breaking, uh, for an artist to break, I think it really has to do with goals. Like, what do you want out of this? And then because there are a lot of artists who have gigged their whole entire lives.
Hmm.
And I think labels definitely are obsolete now. Like they're becoming obsolete. They're almost not a thing because artists are becoming record labels
Themselves.
themselves, right?
Hmm.
At the same time, there's so many elements, and I think that's where you have artists that are labels, or that are companies, right? And then they partner with different types of companies, whether it's a producer, a composer, or you know what I mean, another musician. Like, I play in a couple of bands, and one of my bands, the Flesh the Clay, the Flesh the Clay is an instrumental band, and it's multi-genre. Both bands I'm in are multi-genre because ultimately we are in a melting pot. Everything is multi.
Hmm.
There's nobody that's pure anything.
Right. I don't think you can be pure anything these days. You know?
You can't, because it is a melting pot. People have gone and been influenced, right?
Hmm.
So it goes back to the core, everything is everything. Um Same thing with the oracles,
Hmm.
Raleigh and Faith and Tiffany and Ethan, and then Jason, Delta 5. Like,
Hmm.
it's six of us. That is a multi-genre band. We can't put it in a box because all of us bring so many different styles to the table that it's just like, it's music. This is an experience, you know what I mean?
Right.
Labels are teams of people
Mhm.
who agree on pretty much the same mindset and approach
To sell
to sell artists
a
in the same
specific
way.
product, or yeah.
Yes, a specific product. So
Hmm.
they're like, okay, we want to present products. We need six products. Where are we going to get these products from? Now these products need to be malleable for us to
Hmm.
mold and make into, we're going to brand them, right? They got to go through this branding process. They have to go through this developmental process, blah, 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 blah. And we have the money and the resources to put behind them to make them larger than life. So they take raw talent of people that don't know, or that don't have family, or don't have support, or don't have resources, and say, I'm going to take you out of this life and put you here. The A&Rs play the role of being the connecting dots. So the
Hmm.
A&Rs go to scope out. They're like the psychologists or psychiatrists. They try to talk to you. They
To see
want
where
you
your
to
head's at.
feel
Yeah.
comfortable, like they're your friend,
Hmm.
but they getting a check too. Everybody getting a check.
Right.
But it's like, what energy do you work with and do you rock with? In the industry, the only energy is, we trying to get a bag. How do we get to this bag? And we have a system to get to this bag. And they know how to get what they need out of whomever in order to get there. I'm sure there are genuine people that are there. I know
But
some
even
people that
genuine
are,
people have strategies,
but yeah,
right?
strategy, of course, of course. At the same time, I guess because the people that are over them, which means the energy that's over them, is not what they maybe attest to personally. It's like the perspective and perception is completely different of the people that own these labels than the people who are working these labels. It's just like corporate America.
Yeah, I can see that. Because at the end of the day, there's that common goal. The
The bag.
execute right. And then the execution of selling that product. And that product has to be the same, with the same strategy, but it has to be the same thing that everybody cohesively sees
Agrees
and agrees
on.
on.
Absolutely. When you have indie, then you have free minds.
Right.
It's like corporate and hippies.
Are you familiar with Matador Records?
Sounds familiar, but no, I don't think so.
So Matador Records has been around for many, many, many years.
Mm.
They are one of the, excuse me, they are one of the more known, I'll say, record labels. Shout out Matador Records. What's up?
Hey, what
Um,
they do, Matador? Let
but
me put
they
it in the comments.
have had, you know, artists that have sustained fairly lengthy, I would I would venture to say, you know, they have prospering legacies
Yeah.
via this record label that has buoyed, you know, studio album after studio album and like epic videos, you know, maybe on Much Music, which Much Music, by the way, shout out Much Music, um, out
Much
of out
music.
of Canada is still hauling it down for the videos. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because you know, as far as a
Hump.
video jockey kind of a
Okay,
thing. You
okay,
know what I mean?
VJ.
Um,
That's cool. We should do something like that for Mother's Kitchen. It's
definitely.
just, it's a new wave, though. The whole industry has
But you
changed.
anybody can, but that's the thing. So like everything is so DIY and everything is so indie, I guess,
Yeah.
that the production, the marketing, I mean, everything I got going on, the website, the
Uh huh.
music, all of that, you know, which
Yeah.
I can stand to get a little mixing and mastering. So if
Mm.
y'all are out there,
Mix engineers. I got listen. Actually, I'm gonna say this: Mother's Kitchen really got you covered. I've been
that
just
part.
waiting for us to get together because I have artists that I work with, or and producers that I trust, engineers that I trust, and I definitely, I'm saying this on live. I want to collaborate with you. I've thought about working with you since we met.
I have
Um,
songs specifically that I've written that since we had met and since I'd kind of heard like what your stuff, and
I'm
I'm
sorry.
like crashing over here too. um, I've been like, well, I would like to kind of see how Regina would
uh,
interpret that through your engineering and through
oh.
your so. I
Uh,
guess this is my kind of
he used my government name, y'all. I
oh my
am
god,
fucking done.
my bad.
It's okay, boo. It's okay. I'll let you do it. I'll let you do it. It's all
My
right.
bad.
I'm we gonna we gonna do that. We gonna do all of that. I'm going to, because I feel like you and I will. This will be an all night episode. Easy, easy, and I want to go ahead and give my beautiful souls, weirdos, and southern folks a little bit of Crystal Talk. And Crystal Talk is a weekly segment that I do on a different crystal.
Love that.
It is Crystal Talk live from Mother's Kitchen with Mother Color. Tonight's crystal is going to be Seraphonite. I'll say it again. Seraphonite. And tonight, I'm not even going to type or put the name of this crystal in the comments. If you would like to follow up tomorrow morning, I will post the information on this crystal inside of Mother's Kitchen Spaces app. How about that? So if you go to motherskitchen.com and you see the little banner at the top that says join this app, go ahead and download it because I have so many lovely gifts to give you guys every week. Okay.
I love that so
So
much.
this is Seraphonite. um, this is a funky looking crystal. It's green. Um, again, I'll give you guys the disclaimer. I am reading from the Crystal Bible. This is a book, a definitive guide to crystals by Judy Hall. Shout out to Judy Hall. I'm hoping that eventually she will sponsor a Mother's Kitchen
Have her on the
season.
show, yeah.
I would love to do that. but
She's
I'm
got. They
hyping
gotta
her
have
up
her.
first.
You gotta have her email in the book. I think.
Come on, wait a minute. Hold on, don't play with me. I'll look for that later. I will look for that.
She's like, okay, just a minute, folks. Hey, Judy, what's good? It's mother.
Judy, girl. Hey, girl, Judy. Judy with a. Okay, okay. I'm not going. All right. So the color of
Woo.
seraphinite, and I hope I'm pronouncing this right. I am from Alabama, Troy, Alabama, where there is red clay. If you go off up in the woods, baby, ain't nothing else. The color of this crystal is green. The appearance of this crystal is silvery feathers within the darker stone, often small and polished. Its rarity is available in specialist stores. So this is a very rare stone. The source is Siberia. There's one place you can find this stone. Okay. Let's talk about the attributes of the stone. And by the way, Just Fresh, my oldest son, picked this crystal tonight. Every night before the show, after I get the energy right in the house and burn my palo and clean, I pick a crystal and I don't look. I just put my thumb on the book and I open it,
Mm,
and it's every time it's been on point, right? With the
with the okay,
all of it, right? So, okay,
I
let's talk
love
about
that.
what this crystal does or what it's good for. All right, it says attributes. Placed on the third eye or meditated with, seraphinite is a stone of spiritual enlightenment and is excellent for accessing self healing. It is one of the crystals for making an angelic connection and for opening the crown and higher crown chakras. So, here in here,
Hmm.
right? Um, this stone promotes living from the heart and has a gently cleansing effect on the heart chakra, opening to love. Its
Oh,
feathery wings whisk you up to a high spiritual vibration and is excellent for making journeys out of the body, protecting the physical body while you are gone as well. It can assist with reviewing the progress of life and with identifying the changes needed to put you on the path to peace and fulfillment.
I
Hmm.
like that.
I do too. It's very reflective of tonight and my day personally.
Okay.
Just because you talked about the changes in society,
Hmm.
like the whole overall
Right.
change. And I feel like today I said all I want is peace. I think I made a tweet and I was like, peace and balance.
Just sort of putting it out there.
Yeah, just peace and
And
balance. I'm cool with everything else if
mm,
I can have my peace, because you can have all the money in the world and not have peace. I have friends who have money and they call me crying. You know what I mean? Or
mhm,
they've been crying, or they're stressed, or they've been stressed.
mhm.
I'm a safe space. And I don't have a lot. I have a lot though. You feel me? So I'm just
Mm,
like, everything is everything, baby.
mm,
Because ultimately, I know
mm.
that this is a
I
simulation,
love that.
and none of this shit is real in the first place. We are just in a fucking Sims game.
Do you realize that that all of the good, the things that we identify, the feelings, the sensations, all of that, like like how I had peeped you at the gig, and
Mm-hmm.
I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I just
Mm-hmm.
feel her. All of that, that phenomenon, all
Mm-hmm.
of that stuff that I feel like we take for granted sometimes, and what have you. But I love it. All of that is part and parcel
Yes.
why
Mm.
we keep it going. If
Absolutely.
I have the wanting and the desire to stay on this plane, to stay on this frequency and ride surf with you,
to
I'm not
connect.
to connect
Right.
and to have this peace. I'm not
Yeah.
going nowhere.
For what?
I'm
For
not
what?
going
Because I'm
nowhere,
enjoying the
man.
experience. Everything is an experience. And that is the one thing I think going into this year.
Disturbances in the force come and go. That's just what it is.
Come on. It has to
So
happen for evolution.
it's it's the ebb and flow. It's the
It's
way
just
that it's the way it all works out.
waves gotta come.
You can't.
Waves,
You have to have troughs and you have to have
come
crests.
on.
That's just that's the balance of
It's
that
how
too.
intelligent you are for me. Um, it's how intelligent you are for me. He talking about science and psychology. Like y'all ain't been. I don't know. Y'all gotta take this back because some of the things that he said,
Go
everywhere
ahead,
from politics all the way
to
to
molecular science.
yeah, yeah. Uh huh. I peep. I hear you.
And we hadn't even gotten into string theory, which,
Come
by the
on.
way, if I could shout out to my boy Stephen Hawkins, because continuity and string theory and
Mm,
everything that we believe goes
mm.
from one to the next to the next to the
Oh,
next.
absolutely. Oh,
That
absolutely.
feeling of the vibiness, or like the in, like if we're in or we're on or whatever you want to call it, that
Yeah,
vibe, if we're
page.
vibing, yep, we're
Page
in,
one, page
we're
two, or
here.
same page.
The presence,
Mm-hmm.
that continuity is also a
Mm,
major force in why we we desire to keep this shit going.
absolutely.
And I will venture to say that, those that we have lost
Uh-huh.
to feeling as though they didn't want to
Exist or want to be here.
keep it going.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm.
that's what my brain goes to when I hear of another um, color, or another
Mm-hmm.
flame, or another particle, or another
Mm-hmm.
in the cosmos that just for whatever reason didn't want to keep
Yeah,
the continuity going.
yeah, 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 yeah.
It wasn't that they didn't want to. I feel like that that that
Vessel
continuity, right?
that
It just went
that
out,
energy was ready to go,
right?
move on.
It was ready to go.
It's like, oh, you know what?
I believe that.
I feel like this was a good ride,
Hmm.
but I think that this person needs to be let go. I
You're
want
cool.
to
You're
move on.
cool. You're cool. You're cool.
Come on.
Peace. Gotta go.
Yeah, gotta go because you're not
It wasn't
gonna.
nothing personal.
It ain't
I had to
personal,
go.
baby. I just need to go. It's other stuff. Because our lives go on, right? That's why I say everything is everything because we really can't put our finger on it.
Mm-mm.
It's so many dynamics to existing and being present.
So many
All
elements to what we do and why
who
we
we
do it.
are. I
Yeah.
walk around. I was driving today and I looked at there was an old man walking
Is
down the
this gonna
side
be
of the
loud if I
road.
if I if I
No,
turn
do
it?
your thing. Do your thing. I'll turn you down a little bit.
Yeah, because I don't want the
I
kids
was
to hear
watching
this.
a oh oh, this is ASMR segment of Mother's Kitchen. I was watching this gentleman walk down the road and I was just saying to myself, okay, so his body is deteriorating at this point, right? He's having a hard time walking. He's like kind of, starting to kind of wobbly, wobbly, wobbly. And I was like, dang, human beings are weird. Just the process of the science of us being created. It's a vibe. It's a vibe. Yeah. Shout out to this honey jalapeno.
This is so
It's so good. It's a vibe, y'all. Changed my life.
good.
But
But we have but people have a different flow. Like people have a different we just have a different way about us. And
I
I'm
agree.
more like struck or taken by things that I wouldn't normally see, or I wouldn't normally attach, normalcy or whatever. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah. I agree. I'm the same way. I've always been told that I was different. People I've heard the words weird, crazy, funny, silly because I was a I was class clowning as a kid. Like I wasn't disruptive to the class, but I'm just naturally a silly person. I enjoy a good time. I like to laugh. I like to smile. And people that don't like to smile and laugh back at me, sometimes I'm offended. And I'm like, you know what? I need to not be I'm learning still how not to take things personally. I've had so many situations in the
Same,
last
same, same, same.
I'm just like, "Bitch, wait." Like I get that moment like, "Bitch, I'll slap
Oh,
you." Like
like
and then it's like,
if I
"Wait,
can't go in,
Gina."
so if I we have to be real with ourselves. We have to be
Right?
honest with ourselves because I'll sit here and I'll tell you and the kids at home all
Yeah.
day long. It's like y'all don't bother me. Y'all can't come for me. Y'all can't come for me.
Y'all
But
can't
then
come for me.
now as soon as the cameras go off, I'll sit and be like, "Fuck, what they got going on? I ain't do
What?
that. I ain't
I
said
did
that."
not say nothing to that
But
ass. I
I.
gotta get to this other crystal because
But it's
we
true.
what
I'm
time
sorry.
is it? It's we almost
Oh.
2 hours in, baby. I love it though. I love it. This has been a vibe. It's been a vibe. Okay, so healing. Seraphonite works best at a subtle level. It activates the spinal cord and its links to the etheric body, especially behind the heart, and can release muscle tension up into the neck. Huh. It is useful for overcoming chills and for promoting weight loss. Position placed on the third eye or heart or under a pillow or wear around the neck. This is a stone for me.
Where, I mean, does it say where it's like indigenous to or where it's
Siberia.
gotcha.
And they said it's only found in specialty shops. So that means that when it's time
What
for me
have
to
you done?
have this stone for real, I'm going to end up walking into a shop and they're going to just so happen to have this. And I'm going to probably call you when that happens. I'm just going to be like, "Be wait.
You're like,
Come on.
Greg, look at the
Thi-
rock that they had, but
what
I had it first and I came up into the gig first. So what is going
do you see this?"
on?
Yeah, yeah, that's the vibe. Oh,
Mm.
look, I am going to at least cut you guys out of the rest of our conversation because um I want to turn all this shit off and take these headphones off.
That's
It's
right.
hot. It's been a vibe tonight. I've enjoyed you guys. I want to say thank you to everybody that's tuned in from all over. Shouts out to
My
Simple
dumb ass is
Streams.
waving his son. What the
You waving
fuck? What I got going?
waving at the screen. The camera over there, Greg. The camera over there. I'm
I
just
thought you had no. I thought you had a I thought you had a camera over there too.
nah, I'm just the camera's right there.
No, I know. I know the
Oh,
camera
okay.
over
You thought it was another one
there.
over
No.
here?
Oh yeah. Oh no no your laptop. I thought that was the
Oh.
hence the piece of paper over it.
Yeah, but
Good
we
job,
don't
Greg.
even this is just a little somebody was talking about this being a black mirror the other today. And I was like, it is. We be walking around with black mirrors, right? Conducting energy, right?
the
Programs, watching television,
that part,
right?
all that.
Through the channel, going through the channels.
Mm.
Come on,
Yeah, yeah, you're right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Television program or
Mm.
programming.
The programming,
Television program.
television program,
You programming
channels,
my through what made me want to
tubes,
throw my
the
phone.
tubes.
The tubes. Um, what was I about to do? Oh, I gotta take you guys over to Mother's Kitchen real quick because we are wrapping up. I want to say thank y'all for tuning in again. Uh, that's supposed to be clapping. I think it is clapping, and I'll take that off. No, that's tonight was featuring Greg Bond. You guys can find his music. Go straight to his website. He's an indie artist. He's created a portal for you guys to tap into, and you know how I'm about owning your own shit. So go to www.thegregbond.com.
Music, Greg Bond music.
Greg Bond Music. My apologies. Go to thegregbondmusic.com. connect with him. Find him on iTunes, Apple Music,
Spotify,
Spotify,
Deezer,
Deezer,
um, Amazon Music.
all the spots. Just go to your favorite music platform and type in the name Greg Bond. I'm
And
gonna
if
wait for that right now. Just take a moment for that.
and if you're local here in Pensacola, I will be playing at the Wisteria Tavern here in Pensacola on.
Yeah, what? I had turned it down earlier because you had them
Oh
chipped.
yeah, my bad.
It's all good.
The I will be performing at the Wisteria Tavern off of 12th Avenue, um, from 7 to 10 p.m. So come out. Excuse me. Come out and say hey and support your live local music scene. Live local music. Come and support the artists that are keeping the gig going,
Yeah.
small or large. Just come out and say hey and let me play something for you. I've got originals, I've got covers, but I will play for you whatever you would like me to.
Oh man. I
I've
listen.
got you.
I give it up for Greg, y'all. Give him thanks for showing up to the show and telling y'all where to find him at so you can actually experience him in person. I myself am a fan. I have him on my playlist. I have him in my music. I listen to it. I ride around and vibe to it. I play it in the house. My kids like it. Your kids will like it. Try something new if you don't have any folk artists that you're into already. Then add that to your plethora. Add that to your list of different music that you listen to because he's somebody to have in your life for real, for real. And it looks like we about to go out with a good song from Greg Bond, live from Mother's Kitchen. I again am your favorite host, Mvtha Cvla. Remember, this is supposed to be first and third Mondays, but every Monday, check with us live from motherskitchen.com under our show / series area and find out what we're doing, or come straight to our YouTube or our Twitch to see what's up. Next week, I have HBJ and Jody Joe live from Mother's Kitchen. We're out of here. Take these vibes away, Greg.
You are somebody's sunshine. You're the moon and the Milky Way. You are somebody's sunshine. I know you brighten up the day.